up. And we're going to cut this one. So we have some little bits. We still have some more of the green that we can incorporate. And what else have we got over here? Let's use this. That one I'm going to put down there. It's another piece from the bokeh paper. This little one, I'm going to cover that little spot right there. All right, now we should have some longer strips. I really don't think I want to put any purples in there. Oh, this one might work. Let's rip this up and see what it looks like. You never know that was a tree, would you? Alright, that's gonna go in here. Like that. And then I'll put the green one, oops. Green bit in there. Need something a little longer. That's very dark. Ooh, look at this. Let's use this one. All right, and I am going to rip this one to fill that little gap. Like so. Now this can, oh, there's a little strip there. Let's see what I can do with this little bit to fill in there. And then this one can cover the bigger area. Now, I'm going to cut this into just an abstract shape because I think there's too much plainness up there. So So if I put that like that, kind of takes a little bit of that away. All right, don't want purple. That's kind of a bluey pink. Let's use that. A bluey pink, that would be a purple, right? Oh boy. But you know what I mean. It's the right shade. Where am I going to put this? Do I want it down here? Yeah, we can go down there. We need a couple more pieces. There's some more calypso, but there's too much orange down there. However, I could use a little bit up top. There we go. All right. I'm going to take a little bit of this. And pop it right there. And man, my fingers are so gummed up. I'm going to take a little bit of this to fill in this white hole. Oh, maybe I am. Drop it on the floor. Sorry, get my big head in the camera. And pop that like so. All right. So, my cardstock is covered. However, I think I need to, where I put the bigger pieces, like along the edges here, it looks a little too stark for me. So some of these pieces I'm going to add so it looks kind of patchy like the rest of it. All right. Oh, there's a pretty one. We'll just tear a big blurb out in the middle. And pop that down there to break that up. And let's cut this in two and make two little blurbs. We can use this yellow one up in the other corner. There we go. Ooh, too much glue on that one. Now I really have it all over me. All right, we're looking better. I just think we need to do a little something there. I just don't know what. Let's take a piece of this and add this. Kind of like so. And then the other end of it, kind of break that up a little bit so that the polka dots are peeking through but aren't taking over, if you know what I mean. I'm thinking the whole thing to this is the more you add, the more interest it's going to add to your page. That's what I'm thinking. So if I pop that there, I don't want that blue. What was on the other side of that though? Just more blue. All right, we're down to these little bits. And I think we have enough of that. I can use some of this green. Just where am I going to add it? Where do I need it? Maybe there? I think we're pretty good, you know? I think we're pretty good. So I have all of those pieces. Oh, that one's pretty. I think I want to put this one on. This one's pretty. More golds and oranges. Where am I going to put this? How about right there to break that up a little bit? I like that color. And I think I'm going to take a piece of this, let go of my eagle, and go down here over what's already there, just to give it a little something something. Okay, we're going to stop. Let me get my trash can in here, and all of these bits are going to go. And all of these bits are going to go. All right, that cleaned up a lot of my bits. Put this one on because I can. There we go. That is what we've come up with. And this little stack is all we have left out of that great big pile. much easier for me to store. And that, my friends, is the Frankenstein technique. Now, let's grab our paper trimmer and let's cut this up. I am going to cut this at 5 1/4. And I'm going to slice this in half. And then I'm going to cut this at 4. And I'm going to cut it again at 4. Oops, that didn't cut very well. Might have something to do with all the glue and all the layers. Let's try again. Oh, pulled my blade right out of the track. There we go. Now look at that. Isn't that an interesting piece for the inside of one of these cards? Now these I'm going to cut down to 5. All right, and then 3 3/4. I see that there's a little bit of weight on there, so let's go 3 3/4 and 3 3/4 again. All right. Paper trimmer out of the way, and this is what I have ended up with. How cool is that? I think we should make a card. I'm not going to make 3 today, but we will make 1 together. How's that? And I have an idea. We have some ephemera, if I can find it. That is words. Unforgettable times ephemera. Now, I don't think the gold ones are going to be a great choice. No, I don't think. These are too colorful. We need something plain. We need something plain. And those are gold. We don't want those ones. All right, we're going to be stamping a greeting, I guess. So let's get some cardstock. I have to get a piece of white cardstock and black cardstock, I think. There's white and here's black. All right, let's slide these all out of the way and we will fold our card base in half and burnish it. And then this piece we are going to cut down to 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm hoping this is going to look nice. We're just kind of creating this together as we go. I'm thinking I want one of these smaller ones. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. That's a beautiful thing. Or we could go this way with the yellow popping. Either way, it's beautiful. All right. I think it's going to be a horizontal card. I do think. Yep, it is. Let's get some adhesive on here and we'll put that onto our black mat. And just like that, we have a card that pops. All right, I'm going to do this flat because there's so many layers on there. Make sure my card's opening properly. And we'll just center that up. Beautiful. And now we need a greeting. Let's pull out my greetings only bucket and see what I can find. I want something big. Something big. Well, how about happy birthday? That's very large. We'll set that aside for now and we will pull out our happy birthday. And slide that off. If I can get it off. There we go. Now I'm going to bring in my new Stampin' positioner and we will get a piece of basic white scrap here. And I'm just going to place this down here. Because we're going to cut this down afterwards. Alright, it's going to stick because those photopolymer stamps are sticky when you don't have ink on them. I've got it right up against the pegs at the top. Yep, it stayed okay. Now we need to put some Memento black ink on here. We're going to have to stamp this a couple of times. Because I want this to be really rich and dark. We'll ink it again. And put it back on the pegs. And give it another press. Look at that. I think I'm going to do it one more time. Beautiful. And down we go. Look at that. Lovely. All right. Now, do I want to cut this out around the words and put the words on the front of my card? Or do I want to cut it out? I think I want to cut the words out. I know, you're saying, why? It takes too long. But we spent so much time doing that beautiful background. I want to make this Frankenstein card memorable. You're saying, this video is so long, how could it not be memorable? Alright, I'm going to go and cut this off so it's easier for me. And we're just going to cut around these letters. Not too terribly hard to cut around. And I think it's going to be worth it in the end. Oops, that's kind of harsh. Let's round that out. I'm going to have to go up and around this little top of the eye. See, had I known what I was going to do with this card and how it was going to turn out, I would have done the stamping and fussy cutting before the video. But because I didn't know what we were up against, or if it was even going to turn out, or what I was going to need, I had to stamp during the video. And I promise it's not going to be too much longer. While we're fussy cutting here, I want to remind you that retirement season is fast upon us, and I want to encourage you that if you need any of the re-inkers, the retiring in colors, or if there's any stamps or bundles or papers that you wanted and haven't gotten yet, now is the time. To avoid disappointment, you need to order now. That is my best advice for you, because if you wait too long, I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed. Those in colors go very quickly, and if you wait until they announce the last chance list, it's too late, because those go in minutes. So don't be disappointed, my friends. Order now. And don't forget that February is the only month, and I'm emphasizing that you can spend your bonus coupons that you earned in January. If you do not use them in February, they are gone. Absolutely gone forever, and there's no way to recover them. So February 1st to 28th is the redemption period for those bonus coupons. And March 1st, you'll have two new kits, I believe, maybe 3. I think this month is 3. Anyway, new kits and new product of the month. And I've heard that this one is supposed to be fantastic. That's all I've heard. I don't know what it is. They're kind of teasing us a little bit with it. Like, we don't know until you know what the product of the month is. And it will be online exclusives will go live for you guys the 1st of March. So that's something to look forward to. And what else is going on? Oh, there's so much going on. It's just crazy. There we go. Happy birthday. I like it because all that beautiful background paper that we created is the star. It's not covering it all up. And I'm just using these black mini dimensionals. And I'm going to cut a couple little edge pieces. Because they're too fat for the tops and bottoms of these letters. So there's those. Oops, that's too long. Let's cut that off. There we go. Now let's get birthday done. I'll use that piece right there. And I need another edge. Put that one down there. And we'll put this one. Oh, the glue on my fingers is ridiculous. Spin that around. There we go. All right, let's get my pick tool and get those paper backings off. Well, maybe. I keep pulling up the greeting. All right. Happy, 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 happy. And birthday. Come on. 2 more. There we go. And birthday. Happy birthday. Now I think that's pretty cool. Pretty cool technique. Now these colors, these soft and subtle colors, are not my jam. My jam is most definitely more bright, and I'm going to find some dots here. Just bear with me a second. I'm looking for something with yellow. I want yellow to bring how about, no, not those. There's low profile dots. These will bring out a little bit of sparkle and shine, but also accentuate that yellow. Come on, sticking to my sticky fingers. One down there. And one more. Where do I want this? Somewhere up here. There we go. Happy birthday. That is it for today, my friends. That is the Frankenstein technique. And there's the other pieces that we have left. This one here is a little brighter, as is this one. I think I must have chosen the least bright of the bunch, but that's okay. That is our Frankenstein technique that I wanted to share with you. Let's give you an idea of what you can do with your mountain of leftover DSP. All right, that's it for today. I'm out. Bye-bye.